Let's get rid of President Trump. I think a lot of people out there, we'll say on the left, really do want to see his demise. I mean, everything that I see points to that. Getting him out of office, getting rid of him. And so if you see people trying to get rid of him, you have to ask yourself, why? And the most obvious is because we don't like him and we don't like his policies. I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And I don't pay a whole lot of attention to politics, but I know that prior to this quote-unquote pandemic, President Trump was doing a lot of really good things. The African American unemployment numbers was down, so they were employed and working. And when you're working, you can, do things. You can buy good, healthy food. You will have access to health care, chances are. I mean, there's a lot of good things that come out of that. He was doing the prison reform, which is important. But he had a great economy, and that affected everyone. Everyone benefited. Black, white, red, yellow. Everybody under the sun benefited from what President Trump was doing. And then you fast forward to this COVID-19, and here it comes. Now, I don't believe in, here's what I believe. Or what I question, I should say. I question this COVID-19. I question how people have gone about what they've done thus far. Closing down the country, the economy is affected. And so again, all I can do is go by what I'm seeing, what my eyes are seeing. I believe my truth-telling eyes, not my lying eyes. And what my eyes are seeing is a collapse of the economy, which in turn destroys what the president has done. But I also see President Trump coming out every day and going against other people's better judgment and having this press conference every day, keeping the public abreast of what is going on. And that's a good thing. And I think he's done a great job, all things considered. He's imperfect. We all are. He's a mere mortal. But he's doing a good job. In my humble opinion, he's doing a good job. And people can say, well, he's just a man and, who cares? I don't believe in presidents and I'm an anarchist, and that's fine. And I would say in a perfect world, we may not need a president. We may not need a lot of things. We may not need police, but we're not in a perfect world. We're in the world that we are in. This is what has been dished out. And so you have to take the cards that you've been dealt. And so with that, the President of the United States, in my opinion, is doing a pretty phenomenal job. He was doing a great job prior, and he's keeping people positive, and he's not coming out during these press conferences wearing a ridiculous mask. Some stupid journalist, and I use that term loosely, asked him if he was going to wear a mask, and he flat out said no. I like that about him. I like that he answers matter-of-factly. I respect anybody that does that. No, I'm not wearing a mask. It's not necessary. And the thing about this COVID-19, this flu, whatever you want to believe it to be, whatever your mind tells you it is. I mean, you're keeping people in the house and you're trying to get the numbers down. But when people come back out, is everything that you've done going to matter? I mean, there's always going to be sickness out there. I don't know what a virus is, to be honest. I don't know what that is. But I know that people get sick all the time and people die all the time. And I'd love to know what the numbers for the flu are this year. I would really like to know that. And I'm sure in time I could find that out. But I really don't need to, because, something doesn't make any sense. Something doesn't pass the smell test here. I mean, it seems to inconceivable that a party, namely Democrats, would allow something like this for the sole purpose of pulling someone out of office. But again, you have to look at what you're seeing. The opposition, the hatred that is being directed at President Trump. They tried to impeach him on a call that, I didn't find anything wrong with. I'm just being honest. I didn't see a thing wrong with what he said. I think he was absolutely right. I think he was absolutely correct and had every right to do what he did. I'm not mad at him, but they wanted to impeach him, and they did, and they wanted to pull him out of office for that? It defies logic and reason. So you're looking at everything, the Russia conspiracy and Bob Mueller. Bob Mueller, in my opinion, seemed like an old drunk that was stumbling and had absolutely no clue what was going on. And somebody just wheeled him out there and put him in front of everybody. And it was a complete disaster. It was utter nonsense. And it was a complete disaster. And then you have all of this spying going on, and Carter Page and this FISA business. It's all in an attempt to take someone out of office. Now, I would ask then, if you're doing all of this, you're trying to stop someone, you're trying to get rid of someone, then you have to ask yourself, why? For what reason? What is your goal? Why do you want this person gone? So one of the things I think is because you want to continue to do what you do. And what are you doing? Are you committing crimes? Are you borderline committing crimes? Are you siding with opposition? Are you doing things that go against what the betterment of this country and the people that live in it? What are you doing? What are you doing? And why are you exerting so much energy into bringing someone down and taking someone out, removing someone from office? For what? Why are you exerting all of this energy and all of this time and effort and money to take someone out of office? So it tells me that you don't believe in people going out and voting. You don't subscribe to that, at least in this particular situation. You don't want that, which means that you are trying to accelerate it because of some other reason. Otherwise, you would just deal with it and say, you know what? We're going to trust that the American people know what to do. The American people know that this person is no good for us, or they'll vote him in again. But instead, you're trying to stop that before the 4 years are even over. I mean, you were talking, people on the Democrat side, on the left, whatever, they were talking about impeaching him before he was even inaugurated on January 20th. On the day of. That's highly suspect to me. That's highly suspect to me. And it tells me it's obvious. And then you're trying to pull him out, get rid of him, stop him, impeach him, say he's a Russian agent, say that he is getting help from the Russians, whatever you can come up with. You're trying to get this person out. Why? From my vantage point, he hasn't done anything. Well, what he has done is talked about the media and how incompetent and really probably crooked and very biased they are. He has improved African American unemployment. More people of color are working. He's improved the. He got rid of TPP. He got rid of the climate change. He didn't. That's no longer going to be in effect. I think in November that ends. No more money going into that. He's looking at the World Health Organization, which in my view is a criminal organization. It's just a money grab. And he's looking at that. He's looking at things that don't make sense, have never made sense to me. Money grabs. And maybe the money grabs directly affects the people that are up in arms about Donald Trump. Maybe somehow they're connected to all of that money. There's a connection there. But he's getting rid of it. He's getting rid of all of it. And I say good for him. So, I don't see anything. I mean, yeah, he's maybe narcissistic. You almost have to be. And I had talked about narcissism and how you need narcissistic people. I don't care what you say. It's a balance. You need it. You may not want to date one. You may not want to marry one. You may not want to work with one. You get the idea. But they're needed. And Donald Trump, in my view, is doing a lot of good things. And that personality that he has is probably perfect for the times that we're in right now. So that's what I have to say.